the website later on. All right, so today's class is for the lower body, and it deals with our quads, everything to do with the thighs. So we have quads are called quads. Oops, I want to put myself on. Whoa, what happened here? Full screen. Very good. So our quads are a huge band of muscle that's running down the front. Of course, we have muscles on the side. We have our adductors. If any of these muscles are tight and pulled up, which is very common, first of all, it means it's harder to stand up straight because we're being pulled forward by all of this tightness. If these muscles are tight, they pull our thigh bones up into the socket, and over time the hip joints can start to degenerate and lose flexibility and movement. And then people do hip replacement instead of releasing all these muscles to allow the joint to regenerate. It can also very strongly affect the line of the knees, the kneecap rolling in and out, and they affect the feet. So they're very, very key, very powerful muscles. For most of us, they're over tight because we spend so much time sitting. And so they get too tight, too strong, and then even if we're doing leg work, they dominate the scene and they create more tightness and more constriction, which again affects our whole physiology and freedom. So wonderful area to release. We, like all of this muscle work and release work and fascia work we're going to be doing, always it starts with the bones, because muscles attach to tendons and attach to the bone. And so as we elongate the structure, we want to first and foremost stimulate the bones. So it and then go into the tendon. What that does is that starts to relieve a huge amount of tension. It starts the beginning of the unwinding of the whole pattern. It's literally like the muscle can start to breathe and the bone can start to breathe again. And then it's much easier to move through the shaft of the muscle and relieve any congestion or adhesions or tight spots and allow the bones and the muscles to come back to normal. One other key area that this work is different from, let's say, foam rolling or some of the other work, we really don't want to be going up and down because that confuses the tissue of the muscle. The muscle wants to go from where it's attached to the bone, lengthen into the tendon, and then go down. So when you start to push the muscle tissue back up, it just creates a little bit more of a noise in the nervous system that defeats some of the work we're doing. So we are going to start with the thighs, and you can either work with a gold ball, a silver ball, I'm sorry, or a black ball. We're going to work with one thigh, work one down leg at a time. We will be starting with the weight on this bone, the front of the pelvis here, and have props nearby because we want to try and keep our pelvis straight and the body tends to fall. So you can have a second ball to use as a prop, something under your chest. You can use a pillow. You can use a yoga block, but you'll see what I mean because a lot of the time you may find yourself on your elbows. So you want to be on your side. Find, and move down to the bottom of your mat because you're going to be moving up the mat. Find where that bone is, that bulging bone. We all have it. Now, this is what I mean about it's hard to both relax and keep yourself steady. So for some people, it's nicer if they get a block or they get another ball and they put it, let's say, under the belly or under the chest. So just be aware that this can be quite tiring, but get your weight on the ball and just kind of allow yourself to relax for a minute, even though you don't want to collapse and fall down or off the ball. Get as much of the weight on the ball as you can and take a deep breath in here. And as you breathe out, see if you can sink deeper into the ball. Check that your glutes are not grippy or tight, but literally just wait into the ball, into the bone, into the ball, so that there is a stimulation that starts to happen there. If you really pay attention, it's almost like a pebble going into water. You'll start to see the things spread and widen in there a little bit. So you want that to start to happen and start to release and unwind. Be aware that your legs are going straight down, and the leg that's got the ball, just for a minute, lengthen it, and you may feel a pull up through the groin a little bit. That's really where the muscle attaches. It attaches up towards the bone, but you want to be aware that you get that sense of where it starts. If you can, doesn't matter if you can't. Now from here, take another breath in. As you breathe out, sink into the ball and pull yourself a little bit forward. So the ball is now going down towards the groin. And just pause there for a minute. See if you can relax. That's an area where there's a lot of tension. See if you can allow yourself to sink into this. If it's too much, you can always drop your head down. Make sure the other hip is more or less steady. But it's also nice just to sink down for a minute and let the pelvis relax over this area. And take a breath in here. Breathe out. Let yourself relax. See if you can release the groins. And one more time, breathe in. And breathe out. And let yourself sink even more. Now lift up again. Feel the pressure into the ball and drag yourself further forward so you're right at the top of the thigh. Right there, nice and long. Take a breath in. See if you can send the air into that area, and then breathing out, sink and press into the top of the thigh. You may feel a spreading feeling. Check that you're not tightening the glutes. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. If this is really hard for you to hold yourself up so the hips are square, again, you can use a second ball to prop you, but the focus is on the side you're working on, or get a pillow or anything so that you can kind of not have to work so hard to keep the hips square, but you want them to be square. So whatever is needed, so the focus is on the ball. Now, breathe, big breath in. See if you can feel the spread in the front of the thigh and wiggle yourself a little bit further down so it's going right down the center of the thigh. A lot of pressure here. Take a breath in. Breathe out. So imagine you're literally taking the tissue of the thigh and you're moving it downwards towards the knee. Breathe in. Lengthen the pelvis away from the ball. And then as you breathe out, feel the ball sink deeper. You want to imagine all those thigh muscles spreading apart and starting to separate. Breathe in. Breathe out, sink into the ball, and then roll a little bit further. You want the depth of the pressure to stay down. You're trying to drag the ball down the bone if you can. Doesn't matter where the ball gets to, you want to start ironing it out. Check that your hips are still relatively stable. If it's too much, you can be down. But you want that pressure into the ball. Breathe in. Send the air all the way down to where the ball is, feeling the spread. Breathe out. Sink into the ball. Roll a little bit further down. So now you're almost halfway down the thigh. You may feel that it's starting to unwind and the tissue going this way and that way. This is a really good thing. Big breath in. Imagine that thigh stretching away. Sometimes I reach my toes in one direction and my pelvis in the other. As you breathe out, sink into that ball. Breathe in. Big breath right into the center of the ball area. And then as you breathe out, see that tissue in your mind releasing, relaxing, letting go. You can even have little pockets or gnarly areas that you're moving through. Then peel yourself further forward, sinking into the ball. Breathe in. Lengthen everything out. Lengthen the leg away. Breathe out. Soften any tightness in the muscles, but keep the body long. Breathe in. Breathe out. Sometimes if you bend the leg that's not being worked on up, it helps you. One more time, big breath in. Breathe out and drag yourself even further forward. So when you're now 2/3 of the way down, keep the leg extending, keep that traction, breathing in, breathing out. And now roll a little bit further forward. Now, stay there with the breath. I realize I didn't start low enough. You want to be towards the end of the thigh, close to the knee, but right not fully in front of the knee yet. So you're right kind of an inch or two from the knee. Area can have a lot of congestion. Take another breath. I'm going to put the other ball close by. Breathe out. I like my knee bent up. It helps. Now, roll all the way up to your kneecap, just on top. You just want to feel the pressure of the ball. It's like you're pushing the knee very gently down. Take a breath in here. Breathing out, lengthening everything. Breathe in. Feel the hip, the front of the pelvis lengthening away from the ball. Breathing out. And now, very gently, do what you need to, but roll over your knee. So there's pressure over the knee because the quad actually comes and attaches all the way to the front of your shin bone. So see if you can get all the way to the shin bone. Take a breath in. Breathe out. If you want to relax yourself down here, you can put your foot here and press the ball in there. That's very nice. Breathe in. Breathe out, press the shin bone into the ball. And one more time, breathing in, lengthening the pelvis away, breathing out. Take your foot away from the ball, just roll it away for a minute. And now lie on your back. Just lie down for a minute. And see what your legs feel like. If you really worked, I'm hoping you can feel that the leg you worked on feels longer and flatter. I mean, sometimes it's amazing because it literally looks like a longer leg compared to the other leg and closer to the floor because you ironed out the front. So we're going to go on to the other side. I'll come here. So start at the bottom of your mat as much as you can. Place the ball right there at the top of the hip bone, that bulging bone in the front of the pelvis. And just take a moment to feel the pressure into that ball. I like to almost imagine that it's taking that pelvic bone in the front and widening it so the pelvis is more open. We tend to get small and collapsed inwards. But most importantly is this sinking down into the ball to allow the stimulation of both the bone and the tendons to start to dissipate and spread. If you really listen carefully, sometimes it's like a as your body lets go of something and starts to kind of have more flow in an area that was really tight. Now one more, have another deep breath. Breathe out and slowly pull yourself a little bit forward and down. So you're moving in towards the groins. This can have a lot of congestion because we grip so much there, and so there can be a certain amount of stretching. If you need to prop yourself up with some support or the second ball, do so. The focus still is into the ball at hand. If you've got nice support, just for a minute, sink down and let the pelvis just release. So you have that sensation of the bones being fully supported. Make sure you're breathing as you do this. Now we'll lift up again. You're going to breathe in. So the ball is a little bit lower. Just for a minute, curl the toes under this leg and lengthen. See if you can feel the connection of your quad right up there, just above the groin. The ball is in there. One more time, extend the leg away, feel it reaching out, and you can feel where that attachment is starting, just maybe. Then from here, pull a little bit forward into the top of your thigh. So just pause here, breath in. Breath out, sinking into the ball so that you can feel the tissue right up there start to roll and shift. Again, breathe in. Breathe out. And one more time, breathing in, lengthening out. As you breathe out, you sink into the ball and roll a little bit further forward, probably starting to get into the more dense part of the quad. If you lengthen your knee, you'll get more traction. You're looking though to get that sinking down feeling right through the mass of the quad. So breathe in. Breathe out and sink. I bent up the other leg to give me more leverage and pressure into this area. Breathing in, lengthening my whole waist away from the thigh, and breathing out, sinking, softening that tissue. And then from the sink, I'm rolling a little bit further forward. I'm attempting to pull right through all of that dense tissue. Here we go again. So you pause, just micro movement, breathing in. Breathing out and letting that tissue soften and widen. And again, breathing in. Breathing out, going further forward. And again, breathing in. Nice long body, breathing out, sinking into the tissue, letting the quad release. Breathing in, breathing out. Staying down into the tissue, rolling further forward. So maybe you're halfway down your thigh again. Breathing in, breathing out. It's fine to go down if that's easier for you. Breathing in. Breathing out, and then drag yourself further forward. So you are not at the kneecap yet, but maybe an inch or two above it. Breathing in, breathing out, sinking. One more time, in and out, and now rolling all the way forward so you're just in front of the knee. This is where I usually let my hips come down already. I'm keeping my head up, but normally I would be down. So take a breath in here. Breathing out, press. You can even take the other foot and help press, put pressure into the bottom of the thigh. You're right above the kneecap. And you're gently pressing the kneecap down. Then this is a point you have to be really careful because you want to gently massage your kneecap, but not put pressure into it. It's more like rolling over because the quad actually goes under and attaches to the calf, to the shin bone. So I'm rolling over my kneecap. It's good for it. And then find the top of your shin bone right there. Really press. Now lengthen and deep breath in. See if you can feel the length in that quad. And as you breathe out, push the leg into the ball to soften that bone. Breathe in and breathe out and push deeply into that ball. One more time, breath in, See if you can get even more length through the front of the leg and breathe out. And then come off your ball and again lie on your back. Just feel your legs. Notice it's so important to take a moment and just kind of absorb the work. See how it's affecting things. What do your thighs feel like? How is everything working now that you've kind of done this first ironing out of a lot of tension and a lot of history and a lot of holding patterns? And then come back up, because we can get muscles and tissue and tendons, they can get all glued together. Now, we're going to do a run through again, and we're going to add some things. So, because there's so many muscles running down these legs, that we want to start to do what's called cross fibering of them. So we'll start the same way, right up at this bone. It's called the ASIS, but it's the bulging bone area of the pelvis. And we will roll down to the top of the thigh. At that point, if we stand up here, we'll be turning the leg out so we can get into the inner thigh. And then we'll be rolling all the way over to the outside of the thigh. Then back to the middle, rolling further down, rotating the leg out to help us get into the middle, and then all the way out, and we'll be going down. I've got to prepare you first things. When you're working down the leg, see if you can keep them more or less going straight down rather than off in Gaga land. And also because we have shafts of muscle, you will also feel that you're literally going over clunk, clunk, clunk. You'll be literally feeling the different muscle tissues possibly as you go along. And it's very good for the muscles to kind of get stimulated to have their own identity. Very often we get 2, 3, 4 bands of muscle and they get glued together over time, and then basically we're atrophying and become sticky. So this encourages the separation and these adhesions to start to unwind themselves, so the legs become healthier, your talon becomes healthier, they work in the way they're supposed to work, and you basically free up a huge amount of what could become an injury down the line. So make sure you're at the bottom of your mat because you will be moving up. Have a second ball because it's the same journey conceptually, a lot of it. So now here I am at the top of this bone of the pelvis. And you can use the other ball or put the leg to the side, whatever you need. It may be easier for you now to have your pelvis even because you've already widened and loosened things up. So here we go again. Big breath in. Lengthen the trunk and see if you can get a sense of sinking into the bone, maybe even a little more than you did a minute ago. Breathe in. Widen the bone, lengthen the body, and breathe out and sink. So important right now to pay attention to the sensation of this bone. This is where a huge amount of all of the attachments of the quads end up. And so softening, widening, and giving more circulation. I can definitely go deeper and I feel more space right now. Now, keep that downward pressure and start rolling straight down. We're going to just go keep the pressure and very slowly pull yourself over the area that's the groin into the top of the thigh. So same point we visited a minute ago. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, feel the pressure of the ball rolling in. And one more time, breathing in. Lengthening everything, sending the air into that area, and the pressure of the thigh. See if you can relax the muscles. It's a very tricky thing to relax the muscles and let the ball dig deep. Now, without anything changing, see if you can roll the leg out. If you need to roll a little bit with your body, you want to get towards the inner area of the thigh. And pause here, breath in. Breath out, get a sense of that leg still long. So pressure is in a very different area now. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, as you press in, roll back to the middle so you square to the front. Now, the hand that's away from you, this hand, I'm going to have it like that. So I've got my hand hiked up because now I'm starting to very slowly roll to the side. This can have a lot of noise happening as you peel all of those muscles apart and move towards the side of the thigh. You want it really be just before your IT band, if you know where that is, because we're working the quads right now. And just pause here, take a breath in. Breathe out, and as you breathe out, lengthen the leg out away from your hips. Breathe in, very long, and breathe out. See if you can get a sense of this ball sinking in towards the bone. One more time, breathing in, breathing out, sinking into the ball. Now, stay with that pressure in and very slowly move back. You probably are feeling the thighs starting to roll over. If you don't, that's fine too. It'll take time. If you're not going deep yet, it takes time. Different people have a different entrance point, but this is all very, very good for you. So now you're back in the center. Feel that pressure into the ball and roll down. Heel forward. Oh, here we are. So you may be a third of the way down your thigh. And take a breath in here. Breathing out, you can probably feel yourself going a whole lot deeper than we did the first time. And keeping that depth, start to turn your leg out. So you're rotating the leg in the socket. If you need to drop the other hip to get that to turn, so the knee is going out, but the leg is going down. There it is on my body. Right, you want to find that place where the leg is externally rotated, but aiming downwards so you can get pressure into that area. So I drop the other hip down to the floor because it works better for me. From here, I'm lengthening and breathing out, sinking into the pressure of the ball. Breathing in, breathing out, and then keeping that pressure in and very slowly and methodically rolling through it, literally dragging the tissue of the thigh. I'm bending my other leg and hiking my hand to keep rolling through the tissue into the other side of my quad. So you may feel those clunks of the different quads. There's 4 different muscle groups, and there's actually additional smaller muscle groups that make up this massive band. Big breath. Breathing out. Feel the whole thigh lengthening out. Breathing in. And breathing out and roll back to the middle. Settle in so you feel the thigh sinking in, and now peel yourself even further forward. So you're coming halfway down your thigh. Nice and long. Take a breath in. Breathe out and slowly roll the leg out. There we go. Into the inner part of the quad. And hold this position. Breathe in. Breathe out, pressing into the ball. Breathe in. Breathe out. And now we'll go across. So the pressure is into the ball. Slowly tractioning. It's literally, if you can, keep the pressure in. It's going to drag the tissue of the muscle. It's like you're wrapping it around and rolling across it until you get to the side of the thigh. Breath in. Breath out. If it's too much, you can be on the floor. That's actually more pressure. Breathe in. Breathe out. And slowly rolling back. Keep the pressure down and drag yourself further forward. So now you're 2/3 of the way down your own side towards the knee. Just for a moment here, as you're pressing into the ball, can you get a sense of the leg going even further out of the socket, lengthening out and down? Big breath in, reaching the leg away from the socket, breathing out and rolling into your inner side. You roll across to the inner side, really lengthen the leg away. Breathe in. Breathe out. I adjust my hands sometimes to breathe. Now I'm really getting pressure into there. One more time. Breathe out, sinking and lengthening into the ball, keeping the pressure as I roll back. Roll across. It's dragging my quads in towards the outer side. I'm literally bringing out my quads and coming onto the side. And I'm bending this knee up to help. Big breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. And rolling back to the middle. And now pulling myself forward. So you roll all the way forward till the ball is just in front of the knee. Same place we were at before. Take a breath in here. Important area to stimulate. Breathe out and see if you can roll the ball around, just on the top of the kneecap. This is an area that gets so sensitive and tight, and it should feel nice, I hope. Breathe in. Breathe out. Roll back. If you want to be down, you can. Roll to the other side. Now I'm getting down because it's easier. Taking a breath in. Breathing out. Pressing into the side of that area just above the knee. Coming back. And now with care, not too much pressure, rolling over the kneecap. Into the top of the calf bone. It's called the tibia. Take a breath in there. Imagine that bone pulling away from the knee, breathing out. And one last time, you roll to the outside, pressing into the ball, rolling a little bit towards the inside. I'm taking my other foot to press down. That's an area that can have a lot of congestion. And back to the middle. And then rolling off and lie down on your back and see what this leg feels like, what those bones feel like, what those muscles feel like. Wow. I had a lot of tightness in there, and that felt amazing. Now let's do our other leg. So we have to match them all up. So coming back, making sure you're at the bottom of your mat. And placing the ball under the front of the pelvis. When I get my ball in after my body's warmed up, I literally imagine, I'm going straight down, but I'm imagining that I'm hooking that bone and pulling it away from the midline. It's like away from the navel, so I'm almost attempting to have the tissue go, I want to be wide. So just see if you can get that sense. And take a breath in. And breathing out, press into the ball. Breathing in. And just for a minute, lengthen the knee as you do this. As you breathe out, imagine the leg getting even longer out of the socket. And as you're breathing out, pressing into the ball, roll down until you can feel the ball right at the top of your thigh. So big breath in here, breathing out, and now turn the leg out. Side, I'm not bending the knee, I'm sorry. But I'm adjusting my pelvis just to get the ball cradled right at the top, under the groin, beginning of the thigh, right up the high part. It's turned out. Sort of close to your adductors or inner thighs, but not really. You want the quad area. Big breath in. Breathing out, lengthening that area out and sinking into the ball. One more time, big breath in. You can be on the floor, you can be off the floor, depending upon what feels good. Now sink into the ball, roll back. Remember the hand will be like this. I'm be turning my back to you and I'm rolling across the ball on the side. So lots of pressure there. Big breath in, breath out, breath in. Lengthening the whole body away from the quad as you breathe out. The pressure of the leg is into the quad. I'm pressing into the quad and I'm rolling back to the middle. Feeling that pressure in. And now dragging a little bit further forward. So now I'm maybe a third of the way down my thigh. Big breath in here. Breathing out and feeling the sink. Check that you're softening the muscle. That's a real important dance, and slowly roll into the leg rolls out to get into the inner part of your quad. So it's a fine thing because we grip our muscles so much, so you want to keep checking. Are your glutes soft? Are the muscles lengthened because the bones are long, but you're actually not tightening them? You want the ball to penetrate through them. So it's a constant checking that you want to be going through. So big breath in, lots of length, lots of reach. And as you breathe out, check that you're letting go of the tension in the muscles so the bone, the ball, you can sink more deeply into the ball, really penetrating. Breathing in. Breathing out, penetrating with the ball, and then rolling back to the middle. And then rolling to the outside. Big breath in, length, breathing out, sinking into the ball. Breathing in, breathing out, sinking into the ball. Rolling back to the middle with that pressure. And now keeping the pressure in and roll halfway down, ironing out those muscles, letting them soften and receive the ball. Check to see that you're not gripping. Big breath in. Breathing out. Let yourself sink more and more into the ball. I'm going to drop down now. Breathing in. Sending the air to the ball, breathing out, softening everything so you allow the tissue to open. Keep the pressure down. Can you roll the leg to your external rotation so your ball rolls to your inner part of the quad? Big breath in, see if you can pull away from the ball. Breathing out, soften, and let your self sink into the ball. Big breath in. I can feel pockets of tension literally going pop, pop, pop. Breathing out. And then rolling back to the middle. And from here, one more breath in. Lengthen the leg. And as you breathe out, drag yourself 2/3 of the way forward. So you're ironing out and lengthening the tissue. Breath in, breathing out, lengthening everything. And then keeping the pressure into the ball as you roll and iron out into the inner thigh. Big breath in. Breathing out, pressing into that ball. Breathing in. Breathing out into the ball. Roll back to the middle. And now drag yourself forward till the ball is just above the kneecap. So again, sometimes you can literally feel like you're ironing out lumpy, gumpy areas. Big breath in, breathing out, and slowly adjust and turn the ball. You're rolling the leg to a turned out position, and the pressure is in the inner part of the knee, just above the kneecap. And roll back, and roll to the other side. And then back to the middle. Feel that gentle pressure of the ball pushing the kneecap down, and now without heavy pressure, just roll over the ball. So you roll over your kneecap. Now you're in the shin bone, the tibia. This is a nice bone, so you want to put pressure in here. So big breath in. And breathing out, push into the ball. Breathing in. Press the bone in and then roll the leg out. So you're ironing out and dragging the tissue a little bit, pressing into a turned out position. Big breath in, very long. Breathing out. And slowly roll back. And slowly roll over to the outside of just under the kneecap, right at the top of the shin bone, the big one called tibia, and the small one called fibula. Lots and lots of congestion in there. Good area to massage. And then back to the middle. Pressing into that bone one last time, and then come off the ball and lie down on your backs. And just check in to see what your legs feel like now. So just kind of notice what they were like. You kind of ironed them out, you've lengthened them, you've created a lot more openness in this area. The muscle tissue is a lot healthier as a result of this work. You started pulling apart a lot of adhesions and congestions and glued up mess that we all accumulate because we live in a physical world. So the connection of the thighs and this aspect that the thighs have to be long to allow for verticalness also connects in with this frontal part of the body, the psoas and iliopsoas. And this is again something that can get extremely tight because we sit so much. I remember when I was driving a lot in LA last year, it's in my car huge amounts. I lived in my car for 2 or 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours, going to different places to teach. And when I get out of my car, I literally couldn't stand up very easily. It took me a few moments to relax all the tension out of this area. So this is a real common concern and problem. These areas get so tight. So we're going to be worked into them to release them so the quads are even longer, the legs are even longer, the posture is more easily upright and free. So the runway will be, we're going to start on this bone again, the ASIS, and then we're going to roll it down right between the bone and the pubic bone, kind of in the middle of the side, on the side. So we're going to be there. And then we will very slowly roll up to where the navel is. And then we'll do the same on the other side. And then we'll go from the pubic bone up. So we're not going above the waist area up towards the ribs. And If any of you have never done this work before, the first time it can be really, really painful because there's so much tension in the abdominal areas. We spend so much time tightening things and shoving it down and not holding our emotions and freezing up. So I just want to be preparing you. It's an incredible, incredible release, but it's also can be a challenge. If you find that you literally cannot relax into the ball, having a ball digging into your stomach and into your intestines, and you have a lot of organs in here, what you will do as we breathe is literally you push your belly out. So you press it away from the body. And then as you breathe out, you control how much you let the ball come in. So you teach yourself to relax in this area. You teach yourself to let go. And as you work through these layers, you get deeper and deeper into the deeper layers of muscles. And you also unstick a lot of blocked intestines and all sorts of things that can happen. Only people not to do, you've had abdominal surgery recently, you need 8-10 weeks before the tissue has healed from an opening. So don't do it if you're one of those, but for the rest of you, you can. This can actually soften and release a lot of scar tissue and congestion that happens. So first point is right here, moving down. So we start at the same point. We just have this ball right on the bone. It should feel a whole lot softer and easier to be there now because of the work we've done. Just let yourself sink into it. We'll just do one breath here. Big breath in. See if you can get a sense of how much space and length you can create. And as you breathe out, sink into the ball. Press that bone into it and then roll the ball inwards a little bit so you kind of fall off the tip of the cusp into your belly area. And then drag yourself forward a little bit so the ball is going down. And it should kind of be between the pubic bone area and that pelvic bone and just above the groin area. So let yourself just become familiar with this sensation. It can be pretty intense. For most people, I would recommend just relaxing down and familiarizing yourself with the sensation of a ball in your belly on the side there. A lot of things can happen here. Now take a breath in. You can keep your head down. If it's easier to keep your head down and relax, and as you breathe out, see if you can sink deeper into the ball. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, as you're lying here attempting to sink and soften into the ball, take the foot of the leg that is got the ball and just have your toes digging in and stretch your knee off the mat. And you'll feel a huge reach and length in this whole front of the body. Then soften. So here we go. You're going to breathe in. Lengthen that knee and foot away so you have a lot of traction. And as you breathe out, sink and let the bone, the whole pelvis wrap around the ball. Can you go a little bit deeper here, really dropping down. One more time, sink, breathing in, lengthening, and then breathing out. And use your hands and your foot to help drag you down, and the ball will move up. Be sensitive because this can be an experience you've never had before. And again, take a breath in. Lift up on your hands if you feel you want to kind of lighten the load. Push your belly into the ball. And as you breathe out, see if you can let that ball cradle and sink towards your abdominals, releasing the tension there. Breathe in. Pressing into the ball. And then breathing out. Check that your glutes are soft. Check that your belly is soft. How much can you receive this ball into your belly. Drop your forehead down and reach the arm of the side that's working with the ball forward. And take the foot and dig the toes in and lengthen the heel away the way you did and reach that arm. And see if you can create even more traction in that side. Take a breath in here with this big reach. Breathing out, sinking a little more. And then roll down with your body so the ball rolls almost up to be in line with your navel area. Or maybe at the navel area, depending on how long your body is. Again, breathing in. Breathing out, sink into the ball. And a pretty interestingly new experience. One more time, breathing in. Breathing out. Stretch your arm out above your head and dig the toes in and lengthen your heel away. Imagine stretching that thigh as far away from you as you can, and take a breath in and pull that whole side of the body apart. Press into the ball, and then as you breathe out, sink into the ball and let the belly and the psoas, everything in there, receive the ball as much as you can. And just stay here for a minute. You can bend your hands back and just see how much you can relax into here. There's so much tension and so much holding patterns. It affects our lower back. It affects our pelvis. It affects our legs. It affects our posture. It affects our emotion, having all of this stuck energy and stuck pain and stuck emotions and stuck tension right here in our belly. It can be a lifetime. Then roll off the ball. Thank goodness. And just take a moment and lie down and see what this feels like. This is seriously shifting and freeing up so much in your pelvis, so much in your thighs. Those of you who do other types of workouts, and if some of you are Pilates teachers and different types of modalities of movement, after you do this work, you will be amazed at how your technique has just jumped to another level. It's so much easier to access shapes that you maybe were struggling with. Because you basically free up the programming of the body to be, you're upgrading yourself. And you're basically debugging areas that got all congested. So we are going to visit the second side. So place the ball on that bulging pelvic bone. Let's take a moment. So take a breath in here. See if you can get a sense of what squared hips are, even from the floor. Breathing out, sink into the ball. And one more time, big breath in. Sink into the ball, and now let the ball roll down and in. So it's cradling in front and moving down halfway between the pubic bone and the bone you were balancing on, higher than the groins. So let yourself take a moment to settle into this area. Lots going on here. If you do it right, also sometimes people have the organs dropping down. Literally, the ball is helping to stimulate everything to lift again, go back where it belongs. So let yourself settle in. I often will just put my head down and feel, how can I relax? How can I let go of tension in my bottom? How can I let go of tension in the front of my legs? And then take a breath in. Pushing into the ball gently, and as you relax, let it sink deeper in. Sometimes you can get a rush of heat as you open up circulation in an area that was not working well. Again, breathing in. And breathing out. Now the toes are under. Just stretch that leg away from you. So you lengthen the knee away from the floor. And imagine that thigh reaching out of the hip. The ball helps you release the tension in the deep stomach. The quads can get even longer. Stretch your arm away. Relax your knee, and then as you breathe in, reach the hand and reach the knee away from you, lengthening that side of the body. And then as you breathe out, sink even further down. Then from here, roll a little bit down so the ball has moved up. This can, again, there can be a lot of tightness, Sometimes people who do a lot of abdominal work, they're very tight. This can hurt because they shorten the muscles instead of lengthen the muscles. So it's a good thing to release this. It makes you more comfortable in your body. So big breath in, push into the ball, breathing out, let yourself sink down, breathing in, pressing into the ball, breathing out, sinking down, and now stretch your arm and get your foot, the toes pulled under. So you breathe in, stretch the knee and reach the arms, get as much length, separation between those two points as you can. Breathing out, let go. One more time, breathing in, reaching the legs and the arms away. Breathing out, sinking into the ball. Let it go a little bit further. Trust it. And then slowly roll down. Wow, so the ball rolls up close to the navel area on the side. Just take a moment to become familiar. A lot of tension can be here. Just feel what's going on inside there. And here we go. Breathing in. Pushing into the ball to relieve tension, and as you breathe out, can you let the ball be received into this area? Soften your bottom, soften the thighs. Breathe in. Big breath into that area. As you breathe out, let everything go. Just let go. Then the arms is long, the foot is long. Breathe in and reach everything apart. And as you breathe out, let go. And one more time, breathing in, reaching, and letting go. Then roll a little bit further down. So now the ball is just about close to the waist area. Don't want it at the ribs, but just about the navel area. One more time, breathing in, pushing into the ball, breathing out. Extend your arm, extend your leg, breathing in, pulling everything apart, breathing out. And one last time, breathing in, and breathing out. Sink, let everything go soft, and then roll off the ball and lie on your back and let your legs go long and just see what you feel like. You probably feel like somebody you've never felt before, because there is a huge amount of open energy that comes into this work. Wonderful healing, releasing work makes such a difference. Improves the digestion, improves elimination, gets circulation going in this area, opens up the psoas so the thighs can work more easily, the leg posture improves. Amazing work. So our last journey in this area is from the pubic bone up. So now we're coming right up the middle of the body. So to begin with, just place the ball right at the base. We start at the base of the pubic bone. It's almost if you would roll to one much further forward, you would roll off it, it will go between your legs. And just for a minute, lay yourself down and just rest. And see if you can relax your buttocks. Your back will go into a natural arch. And just feel the pressure of the ball into the pubic bone. A lot of tension can build up in this area. I'm not sure if there's any men in the class, but just move everything out. You can get on the pubic bone just like a woman can. Just make sure you're comfortable. So here we are resting into this position. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, gently push into the ball. So you will slightly lengthen your sacrum to feel the pressure into the ball. One more time, breathing in, relax everything. And then breathing out, lengthening the sacrum slightly. And now from here, roll down. So you're just at the top of the pubic bone. So it's a slightly different area. Again, a lot of sensitivity can develop here for a variety of reasons. We bear weight there. If you're a woman and you've gone through pregnancy, it's had a lot. Sexual experiences can affect this a lot. Huge amount of area that has a lot of impact and tension, and everything can get stuck. So we're just starting softening and mobilizing the area, including all the tendons of all your abdominal areas attached right into the pubic bone. So you need to soften there. So here we go. Breath in, breath out, and slowly roll down and start to kind of imagine the tail curling over. So you're rolling off the pubic bone right into the tendons above it. So big breath in, push into that area. As you breathe out, imagine your tail wrapping around, the sacrum cat wrapping around. Bring your head down now, breath in. And as you breathe out, imagine lengthening and flattening your back. So you're curling the tail a little bit under you. One more time, breathing in. Breathing out, pressing into the ball and wiggling a little bit forward. Again, very intense. Take a breath in. Breathing out, sink and press into the ball. Breathe in. And sink and press into the ball, lengthening the sacrum down. And then roll a little bit further up. So the pressure is right up. You're 2/3 of the way to your navel. And notice the effect of the ball on your lower back. If you can gently press the hips downward, letting that ball sink up, it often will lengthen out areas that can be quite stuck in the lower back area to arch. So breathing in, push into the ball. Breathing out, sink and release. And again, breathing in. Pushing into the ball. And breathing out and releasing. And roll a little bit further up so you're just below the navel point. Can be quite kind of like, oh my God, can I let go here? Big breath in. So just pace yourself, observe the sensations and see how much you can actually let go. You're always in control with this work, and it's a matter of listening deeply to your body. Breath in, breath out, sinking into the ball, letting the whole abdominal area receive the ball, attempting to let go of the tension there. That's what's creating the pain. One more time. Breathing out. And then with care, roll off the ball. You're done with this part. This is seriously challenging. Keep the ball next to you. Just lie down and feel. How does your body feel right now? How does your abdomen feel? When we stand up in a minute, you'll see what the effect is on how we stand. So as you are here, keep the ball in your hand, and there's a point right between the eyebrows, kind of where the cusp of the noses, the ridge of the noses, where the forehead starts. So I want you to take the ball and kind of snuggle it right under that, the ridge of the nose, where the forehead starts between your eyebrows, and then press in and lift the forehead up. This is a point, so just keep that pressure into the bone and lifting that area up. It's an area that affects our whole nervous system. And if you go and you have an acupuncture session, they usually would put a needle in there because it calms the nervous system down. It lets you get into parasympathetic, which is where we're calm and we're rested and we're relaxed and we receive healing. So you want to keep the pressure there. You can close your eyes and just allow yourself to feel the effect of how this feels on your face and on your jaw and just within your whole body, because you receive so much shifting and changing energetically. So you want to carry this healing really deeply into all the cells of your body and just allow all of this tension that you just let go of go deeper and deeper to regenerate everything about who you are. And then slowly lighten the pressure, put the ball down, and I wouldn't recommend sitting up. We're coming up to standing, but rolling to one side because you don't want to get into your old stomach habits right away. So just press yourself up and then come up to a standing position. And just for a minute, see what it's like to stand. See what your legs feel like. See what your stomach feels like. See what your posture feels like, because it may be quite different. And just for a moment, take a few steps, because usually it's a lot easier to be upright, and just notice how your body feels so that you can integrate all this work that you just did. So, okay, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is intense work, but it's truly, truly transformational work. So thank you so very much. I'm going to now close the recording part and